folks, it's a Friday morning for me, and since we made it to Friday, thought we'd have a tobacco scented soap from RazoRock. This one here's got tobacco, rememberized musk, tonka bean, I think there might be some vanilla, leather, and also it says a touch of hay. My nose being what it is this past week, I'm not smelling a whole lot. I know I can pick up some out of the bug. But anyhow, this is what it looks like. And yeah, this is 150 milliliters or about 5 ounces. It's pretty soft to the touch there. It's I guess you might say a typical blend for RazoRock as it goes for the softness. And if I remember right, this one here is, I think this one's got tallow in it. Yes, it has tallow. Anyway, nice scent, especially when my nose is working. Got the alum block here with no rubber band, and Humphrey's witch hazel that's citrus scented, and went ahead and picked up the matching aftershave there. I have it whipped up here in a wooden bowl from the Distinctive Goat. It's a little on the wet side. This brush here is group brush, by the way, of Red Dirt Shaving Society Facebook group. It's got a tuxedo knot in it. That's a really nice looking brush. Leo did a great job whipping that one up. That looks really nice. I really like how all that's blended together. And I've got the if I can hang on to it. You got the Preshave soap from Phoenix Artists and Accoutrements. It's unscented, but it is mentholated. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Sometimes it's kind of hard to focus when your nose is giving you fits. Shaver of the day is from Irving Barber Company. It's a Shavette. In this particular Shavette that I have, it's all chrome, and it'll run you about $70. Those going prices about $70 to $73, somewhere in there from the website. I'll have a link down below for you. And if you're interested in this particular kind of shaver, it is how can you say, well designed might be a good word for it. Well made. In that it's metal. It has a magnet to help with the loading of the blade. The blades that it will take Feather Artist Club. I have a Kai pink in there right now. It'll third use, I believe. And it'll take DEs snapped in half or pre-cut ones. And if I remember right, it also, I haven't tried it with this one, it'll take mini hair shaper blades, in other words injector blades. And so in other words, it's pretty versatile in what kind of blades it'll handle, as well as the fact that if you should have an issue, let's say the little thumb screw, I'll show you what it is. You drop it, lose it, need a new one. Little plastic washers. You can practically, in other words, rebuild the whole Shavette with all the parts that they have available. So to me, that's a pretty good design. And here it is. This is the thumb screw I was talking about. This is the piece that also helps hold everything in place, but I have not had any issues with losing it. And as you can see, the screws there at the pivot point, they'll sell you those. There's plastic washers goes in there. I mean, the whole 9 yards. So if you wanted, you could buy this part, in other words, buy the whole Shavette, and then if you wanted to change this out, the scales, if you will, the handle, if you like to have different colors for your shave or whatever the case might be, you can buy just the handle and swap these out if that's something that you wanted to do. And you already got this part here. So in other words, if you wanted more than one color, if you're, like that kind of thing, it'd be pretty easy to do without having to buy a whole nother Shavette. And I think the handles run $26, $30, I can't remember off the top of my head. It's something like that. Excuse me. Anyway, go ahead and get started. It's not, I've got a pretty, it's not quite, well, it's almost drippy wet. It's yogurt, that's for sure. It's not a thick, fluffy lather. Didn't take very long to whip it up. Feels pretty creamy on the face. You have to admit, if you shop Italian barber on a regular basis, the RazoRock products are very reasonably priced. Every once in a while I can catch a whiff of the tobacco with my nose. It allows a little bit through, not a whole lot. Matter of fact, I've emptied out a box of Kleenexes this morning, so I'm going to have to get another box. The kind I had is it's got lotion and it's got Vicks mixed in with it. I need some more. Even with this being the third shave on this blade, it still feels really smooth with the green pass. We'll see how it works out on the against the grain. As it goes for stretching, it depends on the individual, how much stretching you need to do. What works best for you is, of course, what you need to work with. I don't have much of a need to stretch this direction just yet. When I first started, I was stretching that way. After a while, I kind of felt like I really didn't have much of a need to stretch upwards. There's times that stretching sideways, and of course, you know, putting your head back and stretching that way seems to work pretty well for me sometimes. Now, we'll have to say that my approach on my neck, where I got creases, I will adjust my blade angle, and that's how I get past not catching myself on those creases, because it seems like no matter how much I stretch, there's still that little bit of a crease there. So for me to help avoid catching myself on those creases, I just adjust the blade angle. Instead of coming down straight at the crease, I just come at an angle, and it seems to work pretty well for me. As it goes for the blade staying in place with the thumb screw and whatnot, everything seems to stay just fine for me. It's not that I have a problem getting the blade out at the end of the shave or when I'm ready to replace it. It stays in there pretty well for me. And I know when I first got it, that was concern about the thumb screw here, whether or not it would stay tight enough through the shave. And for me, it does quite well. But I have seen, I've only heard somebody mention it, I think once, maybe twice, and I don't know if maybe it's the way that it's being placed in there in the thumb screw. I put mine on pretty snug, and maybe that's just something that I do that's out of force of habit. I think it's the hay that I'm picking up from time to time. It's kind of hard to tell with my nose being messed up like it is. Hay is something that, even if it's, how can you say, kind of light, it's not the forefront on the scent profile. For me, my nose has a tendency to pick that one out pretty easy, because I know being around hay really tears my nose up. It brings back those days, in other words. When I was a kid, had a friend that lived on a farm, and so there's a certain number of those sort of things that come back to my memory, those scents, those smells. Those days of being miserable after I went back home after being there really messed up my nose. This is pretty creamy. This is good stuff. I really like this. I've got way too much whipped up over here. I just working it, just having fun with it. That's one thing I do enjoy about the bowl leathering is I can see it mature, change from when you first start out to the point where you get it where you like it. You can kind of tell when I push down here, that part there, I do hold the skin pretty tight right there. And I don't have quite the issue with the creases going against the grain, is just coming right at it at a 90 degree, if you will. For me, that it's working all right for me. As I get older, it'll change, I'm sure. I really like this shaver. As it goes from blade length, for my face, I think this blade length is just about perfect. Seems to work well for me. A longer blade length, it takes, for me, it takes more finesse. Yesterday I did end up with a small weeper, and I don't think it wasn't, I think it was a weeper due to a bump. In other words, I think I took off a small little bump, and but it was just a teeny tiny one. It popped up and went away in short order. But this blade here, kind of surprised it's working as well as it is, because there for a while I thought the only blade was going to be the Feather Artist Club Super. I tried the professional, and those did not work well for me at all. And it has a lot to do with my beard type. Guess you might say some tough whiskers, if you will. I can still smell it from time to time. That's pretty good for my nose right now. I know it's been trying to get better, but sometimes it seems like overnight my nose just gets worse. I got a couple of videos queued up. Been trying to get a chance to watch them. I've got Marcos. He's got a Cavendish, and he's got a video of it. And every time I see that, reminds me that's one of the ones I need to get one of these days. Is Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Cavendish, and yeah, and I got Flash's video queued up. I also saw that since he shaves hit 900, and that's quite an accomplishment in my opinion. I never thought I'd get as far as I am right now. I think the last time I looked is around the 850 mark. I have just a little bit left right there, but that is all I have left. Like I said, this soap feels pretty creamy. Right now, I would say, at least for me, for what I do, the if a person wanted to forego the aftershave, I can understand that right now with this soap, because my face feels pretty good. I only had one spot, and I'm expecting a little bit of stinging right back here. It happens from time to time. Get your angle off just a little bit along with the pressure, where things aren't quite as smooth as you would like. Just a little bit right back there. I enjoy using the shaver. I try not to, how can you say, sing its praises too terribly much. Sound like a salesman, but to me it really is a versatile shaver. Like I say, you can get all the parts you need if you lose one or want to change one out or whatever the case might be. Totally rebuild the Shavette from scratch. And I mean, like I say, the pivot points, there's little clear washers they sell with it. In other words, if you wear one out, you can replace it. That way it's not quite as floppy. With the screws there, you can tighten it up to get it to, I guess you might say, where you feel comfortable with that handle, on how loose or how tight you like for it to be. It's to me, it's well designed. I did see, been meaning to mention this, Trevor's video with the dark stag, and I've had my eye, and he is correct. Yeah, I am interested in it, and I've had my eye on it for a while, and just haven't quite decided just yet if I wanted to go down that road of another Shavette. In other words, I have Shavettes that I'm very happy with, and I don't know if one more Shavette is something I'm really after. I do like the design. The design looks really nice. It resembles a Feather Artist Club. I don't think I've got it handy. Yeah, here it is. It resembles this one here. It'll look similar to this with the exception of the head looks a little bit taller, a little bit wider, and it takes a DE blade snapped in half. It's nice and shiny. It's a good looking shaver. Like I said, I've had my eye on it for quite a while, and ever since it was, showing as it was in development is how I've been following it, and it looks really nice. Looks like it'd be a pretty good shaver. I just don't know if I want to add another Shavette to the den, but on the other hand, it looks like it'll be a nice one to add. I might, and it's more because it's Camisori style is what I'm holding back on. I like it. It's Camisori style. I'm afraid if I get it, it'll be one of those. It'll be like this one here, this Feather Artist Club, and I've got the guard to go with this one here. I really like the Camisori style. Works well for me, and I think, I guess you might say, it'll become one of those shavers I want to use on a regular basis, like this one here. Then the rest of them kind of get neglected. It's kind of like this one here. This one here, I think it's just a beautiful shaver. I do like the all chrome. And oddly enough, it's the cheapest one too. So that, not by a whole lot, but still is the cheapest one. I really like this chrome one. I can smell the aftershave. My nose is getting better. It's Friday too. And of course, gotta mow the grass again, so there we go. I've had a great shave. Had a lot of fun this morning. Glad I felt well enough to do the shave. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe and smooth shaves to you.